Welcome, Tzvi here. I always thought asthma was a physical condition. It had to do with my lungs, my ability to breathe. So maybe if I change my diet, it may support the body a lot more. This helped, but I was determined to get to the root cause of it. Maybe there's something else. At the same time, I got more involved, very deeply involved in the aspect of the spiritual part. Could this be a big part of the picture? As we are, I discovered we're actually spiritual beings in a physical body. Maybe this was a key, the mind, body, and spirit, part of it, hooked in together. And it was so an amazing journey. I become thirsty with it. I started out life as an engineer, so everything had to be physical, had to be this way. But I also knew at the same time, when I was doing my work, things just flowed. There's a flow state. And I was trying to work out, how did things come in? You know, sometimes things work, sometimes don't work. The phone rings for a new client, the phone doesn't ring. What's controlling all this? I was so intrigued and wanted to get to the bottom of it. It's all part of this amazing journey. So I've been doing meditation off and on over the years. And it was amazing how it happened. Sometimes when you do meditation and come out of it, you may not be thinking about anything. Keep meditation very simple. It's all about becoming internal calmness. And all of a sudden these thoughts will come in from nowhere. I tend to jot them down because I found quite often afterwards, I don't remember what they are. So if this is coming in from nowhere and I'm relaxed, but my theory was, and my belief was, I have to control it. To have a rigid control on it, nothing can move unless I put a control on it. But how come when I'm in a relaxed state, I get into that flow state and things just flow and come in and the problems don't even appear to be there. Afterwards you're like, whoa, I had these problems on the journey, but everything worked out fine, if not better, quicker, nicer, more enjoyable. And I was pretty much blind to that for a while. But when I got more in depth into the spiritual portion of it, I was like, maybe there's something in this. What is this? I didn't know it was called the flow state. I just felt like, okay, I'm switched off from other things, I can focus in. Well, that focusing in was letting go of control. I didn't know about that. Wow, it was become amazing that this asthma could be more than just a physical situation. And what happened? I started to learn that in my meditations I relaxed and that stress in the lungs just slowly disappeared. I want to just put a little note here right now. This is not medical advice. Please stick with your doctors, get their approval. This is talking about my journey and sharing it with you. It's purely about sharing only. It's not educational, it's sharing. Thank you. So what happened? The adaptation of these negative experiences were actually taking over. I was thinking that this physical thing and the negative situations were just part of life. The pain I was once working in engineering for many, many hours a day. I was determined I'm not going to give in. My arm, my neck, my shoulder were very, very sore. No, I'm going to be strong. I'm not giving into it. And the pain got worse. Still not giving in. And then all of a sudden one day I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. It's crazy. I'm in so much pain. Just to keep pushing myself to prove that I'm bigger than this pain. Well, the pain ended up being another one of those hidden blessings. Like asthma ended up becoming another blessing. They all become big blessings once I learned to let go of control. What is control? Thinking that I have to make it happen. I have to think it this way. I've got to put the emotions in it. But I realized that wasn't control. That was covering up a feeling out of control. So maybe if I let go, I can be in control. I have a saying now, the more you let go, the more you're in control. It always seemed contradictory and backwards and doesn't make any sense. But the more I looked at it, the more it made perfect sense. Because I'm only using control to cover up feeling out of control. And where does that out of control come? From thinking everything's physical and everything that put into my life that was considered bad trauma, that this was there, bad and a trauma. But it ended up being this bad and trauma were not actually bad and trauma. They're actually experiences that I needed on my journey, on my spiritual journey. And what happened is when I opened my mind up and thought, from moving from a negative parabol to a positive one, it changed everything. It opened it up. It's like, okay, instead of looking how bad it is, then I've got to control it even more. No, let go. Look at it as a signal from the Creator God Himself, a personal message He sent me, designed specifically to me, to help me. And I did. I looked at it this way and said, okay, what is it in it that I can change to be a better person and a more freer person and a more joyous? And all of a sudden you go lightheaded. I just let go of all this control that was really harming me because I'm trying to cover up for something feeling out of control. And the journey went on for many, many years. And it's still going on. It's so amazing how it keeps going. The more I look into it, I think, oh, I understand it now. And all of a sudden, something will come in and it's like, wow, that's another way of looking at it. And that part that I thought I had understood pretty well, there's actually more into it. I can learn more about it. And it ended up becoming more freeing and more freeing as the journey goes on. So the bottom line is what are those things? I learned that they're actually distractions, taking us away of the spiritual world, of the freeness, and thinking it's control, it's bad. It's a total distraction. I was like, whoa, I got caught again. And when I realized that I'm veering off from the life of calmness and internal joy and being open to the things coming in, instead of controlling it, when things are not coming in, you're trying to control it even more. It's not working, it's not working, it's not good, it's bad. This person's not good, this person's hurting me. No, they're just puppets in a big puppet show from the spiritual goodness that God, Hashem, Creator gives us. So when I looked at it in a different world, it's like, hey, that's not harming me, that's not hurting me, that's not wrong, that's not bad. That's a negative way to distract me from being free and open to seeing the goodness in. It's like putting blinkers on, putting in blankets, putting me in a box, stopping me from enjoying the goodness in this world. So when I looked at it that way, I was like, okay. And I'm telling you now, it's so easy to get caught out. You think you're in a calm place, you think you're doing really well, and it sneaks up behind you, comes in. And what happens? You get caught again. And then after it's like, oh. And the thing is the most important part for me now is to learn and grow from it. And what I mean by that, instead of looking at that sickness or the pain or the situation as something terrible, it's like there's a hidden message in there, a blessing in disguise that can help me be a better person. So I keep delving into it, realizing it's more than the physical. And if we can hook into the higher source, the abundance, God, the Creator, the abundance where it all comes from, we get abundance, health, money, whatever it is you're looking for, relationships, internal calmness, hook into the abundance. It's like, whoa, there's something, a new set of rules way above there that I can hook into. And what happened? Everything started to calm down. The asthma started to relax. I could start breathing again. First time in my life. I could really breathe calmly. I didn't have to get scared that I'm going to have an asthma attack. And it went on, and one day, 2 days, it's been many, many years, 10, 20 years by now, probably close to 20 years, it could be over 20 years. And what happened? The freedom come, being calm. And instead of what happened, you've got to go on that holiday to find calmness. You don't need to go on the holiday. You can bring the holiday to you, bring the calmness inside of you, allow it so you can enjoy life, enjoy the goodness out there. The real key here is realizing that this is one thing only, to make it think it's physical. And I guess the second part is to distract us from being present and seeing the goodness out there. We have a Yitzhahara, an evil angel that wants to distract us. Oh yeah, but he's bad, he's terrible. No, he's the one that opens us up and he puts in there little messages to help us. You want to grow, you're a good person. Let's help you be an even better person. Those distractions are there only purely to help us. Instead of saying, this person just upset me, this person didn't pay with me, this person didn't help me, this store doesn't have what I want, they always give me a hard time. No, that's there to help you, distract you. Because what happens is you start inhaling quickly and not breathing because you're holding on and your shoulders roll over, there's pains in your body, and the asthma just gets so bad. And then, but I've worked on children and adults, and they tell me how bad their asthma is, and I get them into a calm place, relaxed, and they start breathing. I'm like, you told me he's suffering bad from asthma. Same with ADHD, can relax them. I had the same thing my whole life. I was labeled ADHD. Well, it's ADD back then, but now it's ADHD. Well, that's just the mind getting distracted from all the goodness. So the key is to let the goodness come in, open up to the abundance out there and allow it in, and realize being present. I can only think, do anything at present. I can't deal with the future until the future. The past has already happened. So the more that I can come back into center and realize I can take a choice now to look at it in a negative way, I can look at it in a positive way. So the more choices and more options I allow myself, the more calmness, the more easier it is to breathe, the more easier it is to think, and the body becomes so much more relaxed. So that is the mind allowing, opening up the body's physical pains and relieving. It's so amazing how I discovered this. It was already there, it was inside me. And when you hook in and let go to the spiritual portion, it is so, so beautiful. I want to thank you very much for staying through to the end. This is just quick little videos I do. If you subscribe, thank you very much. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button down below. Thank you, and look forward to reading the comments.